You probably noticed that Red Bull has been struggling a bit during Friday's free practice sessions this season, right? Max Verstappen often looks frustrated, and the team seems to scramble to get the car set up just right before qualifying and race day. Well, there's some big news that could change that. The new Red Bull team boss, Johan Mers, is already shaking things up behind the scenes to fix these issues. Instead of spending Friday on the track trying to find the perfect car balance, the plan now is to do much more work beforehand in the simulator back at the factory. This means when the team hits the circuit for that first practice session, they'll already have a solid setup dialed in. That's a game changer because it saves valuable track time and lets Max focus on getting the most out of the car from the start. Why is this so important? Because at the upcoming Belgian Grand Prix, things get even trickier. There will only be one free practice session on Friday due to the sprint race format, which squeezes the schedule tight. That single practice will be Max's only chance to fine-tune the car before qualifying, so having a strong setup from the get-go could make all the difference. Johan Mers' approach is all about optimizing the team's preparation to avoid the frustrating slow Fridays we've seen. It might sound like a small change, but it could have a huge impact on how competitive Red Bull is on race weekends, especially in tricky conditions or circuits where time on track is limited. The big question is, will these changes make Max happier and more comfortable in the car right away? Fans have seen how even small setup issues can throw off a driver's rhythm and confidence. With the new plan, Max and the whole team should start the weekend stronger, reducing stress and giving them a better shot at top results. It's definitely something to watch closely as we get closer to Belgium. So what do you think? Will Johan Mers and this new preparation strategy help Max and Red Bull perform better from the first lap of Friday's practice? Let me know your thoughts below with a simple yes or no. And if you're excited about these insider updates and want to stay on top of all the latest Formula One news, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. It really helps the channel grow and makes sure you don't miss anything important during the season. The spotlight now shifts over to Ferrari, who recently wrapped up their second day of filming with the SF-25, testing a brand new suspension setup. Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton shared driving duties during this private test session at the Mugello circuit, covering around 200 kilometers in total. Now I know you're probably wondering, did the new suspension make the car faster? Were the drivers happy with the handling? Unfortunately, since this was a closed test, there aren't many official details out there just yet. What we do have are a few photos Ferrari released and some observations from journalists watching from outside the track. From what insiders report, the mood in Ferrari's garage was calm and professional, with the team carefully sticking to a strict plan to maximize each lap within the 200-kilometer limit. They couldn't afford to waste any kilometers or take big risks during the run, which means the drivers stuck to short runs rather than long stints. In the morning, Charles Leclerc was the first to hit the track, taking the SF-25 out for a handful of laps in, a sort of stop-and-go pattern, 2 or 3 laps at a time before returning to the pits. Later in the afternoon, Lewis Hamilton took over and completed nearly 20 laps, running longer stints to simulate race conditions and provide detailed feedback on how the car behaved with the new suspension. Despite all this activity, no lap times were released, and it's unclear which driver was faster or if the suspension actually improved the car's pace. We'll have to keep an eye on reliable sources like Motorsport or Escuderia fans to see if any updates surface before the next race weekend. The important thing to remember is that Ferrari chose to run this test just ahead of the Belgian Grand Prix for a reason. Since Belgium will have only one practice session due to the sprint format, Ferrari wanted to validate their suspension upgrade beforehand. If everything went well in Mugello, we can expect the updated suspension to make its debut at Spa-Francorchamps. Of course, if Ferrari decides not to bring the new suspension to Belgium, it probably means they still need more time to fine-tune it, pushing the upgrade's arrival to the Hungarian Grand Prix or later. Either way, this test signals Ferrari's commitment to squeezing every bit of performance out of the SF-25 as the championship battle heats up. So what do you think? Are you excited to see if Ferrari's suspension upgrade can close the gap to Red Bull in the coming races? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if you enjoy these deep dives into car updates and behind-the-scenes testing, go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow and brings more great F1 content your way. Now let's connect the dots between Red Bull's new leadership shakeup and Ferrari's suspension test, especially with the Belgian Grand Prix right around the corner. This race weekend is unique because of the sprint race format, which means there's only one free practice session on Friday. That puts extra pressure on both teams to get their cars as close to perfect as possible before hitting the track. Red Bull's plan to come into Belgium with a ready-made setup from extensive simulator work means they won't waste precious track time trying to find balance. They can hit the ground running right from that first practice. On the other side, Ferrari's recent test at Mugello with the new suspension upgrade shows they're taking no chances either. By validating the update before Belgium, they aim to bring meaningful performance gains despite the limited practice time. But if, for some reason, Ferrari decides to hold off and skip the new suspension for Belgium, that could be a sign they need more development time, pushing the debut to Hungary or later in the season. Both teams know that in a sprint weekend, preparation off-track becomes even more crucial. With only one chance to fine-tune the car on the actual circuit, the quality of simulator work and test data can make or break the weekend. It will be fascinating to watch how these upgrades and strategies play out once the cars hit Spa-Francorchamps. So here's a question for you. Who do you think will come out on top at the Belgian GP? Will Red Bull's new leadership and simulator-first approach give Max Verstappen the edge? Or will Ferrari's suspension upgrade help Charles Leclerc close the gap and challenge for the win? Share your prediction in the comments below. I want to hear who you're backing this weekend. And if you want to stay ahead with all the latest race weekend analysis, upgrades, and insider news, make sure you subscribe and activate that notification bell. You won't want to miss any of the action as the season heats up. Let's take a step back and look at the buzz around these developments, not just from the teams, but from the press and you, the fans. The Italian media covering Ferrari's test from outside the track noticed a calm and focused atmosphere in the Ferrari garage. No wild celebrations or dramatic reactions, just a professional team quietly working to maximize every lap within their strict limits. That kind of disciplined approach shows how seriously Ferrari is taking this upgrade and their pursuit of every tenth of a second. Speaking of fans, I want to give a quick shout-out to one of our subscribers, Jaime Antonio Marques, from Porto Alegre, Brazil. Jaime recently sent a message commenting on how Band's F1 coverage might start pulling viewers away from Globo, especially with the way Formula One broadcasting is evolving in Brazil. He also mentioned liking our new longer video format here on Fast News F1, which means a lot to us. Jaime's support and feedback really keep the channel energized. If you want a shout out like Jaime, just drop your city or country in the comments. Who knows? Your message might be featured in our next video. It's a great way for us to connect and build this community of passionate Formula One fans from all over the world. Also, if you appreciate the mix of detailed technical updates and fan-focused content, don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't yet. It helps the channel grow and means more in-depth coverage coming your way. The F1 season is getting more intense by the race, and having a place where you can get quick, clear, and insightful news is key. That's exactly what we aim for here at Fast News F1, bringing you closer to the action, the teams, and the stories that matter. To wrap things up, we've got a lot to watch as the season heats up. Red Bull's new team boss shaking up the preparation strategy, Ferrari testing a promising new suspension, and both teams gearing up for a unique Belgian Grand Prix with just one practice session. These changes could shift the momentum as Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc battle it out on the track. Keep an eye on Spa-Francorchamps to see if Red Bull's new approach helps Max hit the ground running and if Ferrari's suspension upgrade delivers the gains they're hoping for. This weekend could be a turning point in the championship, and you'll want to stay tuned for every update. If you liked this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Fast News F1. We're aiming to grow the community and reach 1,000 subscribers, and your support makes all the difference. Also, don't forget to click the notification bell so you never miss a beat during the race weekends. Before you go, I want to hear from you. Would you like us to dive deeper into technical breakdowns of car upgrades in future videos, or are you more interested in race weekend predictions and strategy discussions? Let me know in the comments below. Your feedback helps shape the channel and brings the best content to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon with more fast and fresh Formula One news.